Welcome to Streaming News Network by Claude McDaniel. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. A developing international effort is underway to ease tensions and protect global shipping routes in the Strait of Hormuz. Officials say multiple countries, many not directly involved in the ongoing Middle East conflict, have appealed to the United States for assistance after their vessels became stranded in the heavily restricted waterway. These ships, described as neutral and uninvolved, have been unable to safely navigate out of the region amid rising instability. In response, U.S. leadership has announced a coordinated humanitarian initiative, dubbed Project Freedom, set to begin Monday morning local time in the Middle East. The mission aims to guide these vessels and their crews safely out of the strait, allowing them to resume normal operations. Officials emphasize that the effort is not military in nature, but rather a humanitarian move to assist innocent parties caught in a volatile situation. Reports indicate that some ships have been running low on essential supplies, raising concerns about the health and safety of large crews on board. At the same time, U.S. representatives are engaged in what are described as constructive discussions with Iran, with hopes that cooperation surrounding this operation could foster broader goodwill in the region. However, a firm warning accompanies the plan: any interference with the safe passage of these ships could prompt a strong response. For now, the focus remains on de-escalation, humanitarian relief, and restoring safe navigation through one of the world's most critical waterways. This is Streaming News Network. A massive fire emergency unfolded Sunday afternoon in Belleville, New Jersey, where firefighters battled an intense, fast-moving blaze that escalated into a 9-alarm response. Crews were first dispatched just before 2 p.m. to the 300 block of Cortlandt Street after reports of a rapidly spreading fire. When firefighters arrived, they found a 2-story brick warehouse fully engulfed in flames, prompting a large-scale response and assistance from neighboring communities. Fire departments from Newark, New Jersey, Nutley, New Jersey, and North Caldwell, New Jersey were among those providing mutual aid as crews worked to bring the fire under control. Officials say embers carried by the wind likely sparked a second fire about 2 blocks away on Stevens Street, creating an additional challenge for responders already stretched across the scene. Authorities urged residents to avoid the area as multiple roads were shut down to support emergency operations. The Newark Fire Department also deployed drones to monitor the fire's spread from above, giving crews critical real-time information. As of late afternoon, no serious injuries have been reported. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. This is Streaming News Network. Authorities in Nassau County, New York are investigating a pair of deadly overnight attacks that have left 2 women dead and a suspect in custody. Police say 22-year-old Ronnie Yahir Alvarenga Rivera is accused of carrying out 2 separate stabbings early Friday morning on Long Island. The first incident occurred just after midnight in Island Park, New York, where a 42-year-old woman was attacked outside a Wendy's restaurant while taking out the trash. Several hours later, officers responded to a second scene on Mineola Avenue in Valley Stream, New York, where a 32-year-old woman was also found fatally stabbed. Investigators say the suspect had been living at that location, though the exact relationship between the two remains unclear. Both victims suffered multiple stab wounds, and authorities described the incidents as violent and targeted. Police say the suspect later approached officers near Atlantic Avenue in Lynbrook, New York and made statements indicating involvement in the crimes. He was taken into custody without incident outside a nearby convenience store. Rivera now faces multiple murder charges and has entered a plea of not guilty. Officials confirm the investigation remains ongoing as they work to determine a motive. This is Streaming News Network. A former member of Congress has been found guilty in a high-profile foreign lobbying case tied to Venezuela. A federal jury in Miami convicted David Rivera on multiple charges, including failing to register as a foreign agent and conspiracy to commit money laundering. His associate, Esther Neufer, was also found guilty. Prosecutors say the pair were involved in a covert $50 million lobbying effort during the first Trump administration, working on behalf of the Venezuelan government led by Nicolas Maduro. According to court evidence, Rivera used his political connections in Washington to try to influence United States policy and ease pressure on Venezuela, without disclosing his financial ties as required by law. The case drew national attention, in part because of Rivera's long-standing relationship with Marco Rubio, who testified that he was unaware of the lobbying arrangement and felt misled. Following the verdict, the judge ordered Rivera taken into custody, citing concerns he could flee due to access to significant financial resources and the possibility of a lengthy prison sentence. Federal prosecutors say the case highlights ongoing concerns about undisclosed foreign influence in American politics. Rivera's attorneys have indicated they plan to appeal. This is Streaming News Network. Authorities in Palm Beach County, Florida are moving forward with charges in connection to a tragic crash that claimed the lives of 3 sheriff's deputies late last year. According to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, the incident occurred on November 21, 2024, as deputies were conducting a traffic stop along the roadside. Officials say Corporal Luis Paez, Deputy Sheriff Ralph Butch Waller, and Deputy Sheriff Ignacio Dan Diaz were struck by a passing vehicle. Corporal Paez and Deputy Waller died shortly after being transported to the hospital. Deputy Diaz remained in critical condition for several days before passing away on November 25. Investigators describe the injuries as catastrophic, underscoring the severity of the crash. This week, the state attorney's office formally filed charges against a suspect identified as Corinne Blue, marking a significant step forward in the case. In a statement, the sheriff's office said it continues to mourn the loss of the 3 motor deputies, honoring their service and dedication to protecting the community. Officials added that their sacrifice will not be forgotten. The case remains ongoing as prosecutors move ahead with legal proceedings. This is Streaming News Network. A tragic update tonight in a high-profile homicide investigation involving 2 graduate students from the University of South Florida. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office confirmed that human remains discovered near a bridge in the Tampa Bay area have been identified as 27-year-old Nahida Bristi, who had been reported missing along with fellow doctoral student Zamal Limon. Authorities say Limon's body was previously recovered on April 24 from the Howard Franklin Bridge. Investigators now believe both victims were killed days earlier after last being seen on April 16 in Tampa. Sheriff Chad Chronister said Bristi's identity was confirmed through DNA, dental records, and clothing evidence. Officials added that her remains were discovered by boaters after a fishing line became entangled in a bag in the water. A suspect, 26-year-old Hisham Salah Abugharbi, has been in custody since April 24 and is facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of first-degree premeditated murder. Investigators allege he was the last person seen with the victims and later attempted to conceal evidence. Authorities also revealed that items belonging to the victims were recovered from a dumpster, and location data placed the suspect at key sites connected to the case. Officials say efforts are now underway to return the victims' remains to their families in Bangladesh for burial, in accordance with their religious traditions. The investigation remains active as prosecutors prepare for trial. This is Streaming News Network. A tense situation unfolded aboard a commercial flight arriving in New Jersey, prompting an emergency response at the airport. Officials say a United Airlines aircraft landing at Newark Liberty International Airport declared an in-flight emergency Saturday evening after a passenger allegedly assaulted a flight attendant. According to Air Traffic Control Communications, pilots of Flight 1837 reported the incident shortly before landing, requesting immediate law enforcement assistance upon arrival. The flight had departed from Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic and touched down at approximately 5:21 p.m. Authorities say the passenger not only attacked a crew member but also attempted to open a forward cabin door during the flight, raising serious safety concerns. Pilots requested to be directed to a gate as quickly as possible, where emergency crews and police were standing by. There has been no official word yet on injuries or whether the suspect has been formally charged. The incident remains under investigation. In a separate development the same day, Spirit Airlines announced it would shut down operations after failing to secure a $500 million financial rescue deal. This is Streaming News Network. A growing media controversy is drawing national attention tonight, involving sharp criticism of a late-night television host following remarks tied to a recent assassination. Veteran broadcaster Geraldo Rivera is calling out Jimmy Kimmel, accusing him of crossing a line with comments made after the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Rivera, speaking during televised appearances, said Kimmel's remarks were insensitive and disrespectful, particularly given the timing, just days after Kirk was killed. He argued the comments showed what he described as hostility toward Donald Trump and his supporters. Kirk was fatally shot during an outdoor event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Authorities say the gunman fired from a rooftop position before Kirk later died at a hospital. In the days following the attack, Kimmel addressed the incident on his program, suggesting political motivations surrounding the suspect and criticizing reactions from some supporters of the former president. The controversy escalated further after additional remarks involving Melania Trump, which also drew backlash. She responded publicly, condemning the tone of the comments and accusing Kimmel of contributing to political division. Meanwhile, ABC announced that Jimmy Kimmel Live would be taken off the air indefinitely. The debate continues to raise broader questions about the boundaries of political satire and the tone of public discourse following acts of violence. A public figure is speaking out about body image and the pressures facing young women, emphasizing the importance of confidence and healthy self-perception. Melissa Joan Hart, along with her husband Mark Wilkerson, are raising 2 teenage daughters and say it's critical their children see realistic and healthy choices modeled at home. In a past interview, Hart made it clear she would rather face criticism herself than allow her daughters to struggle with self-esteem. She highlighted what she described as a broader cultural issue, where a very small percentage of people set unrealistic beauty standards that many feel pressured to match. Hart's message focuses on health over perfection, encouraging young people to embrace their natural body types and prioritize well-being over comparison. Her comments continue to resonate as conversations around body image, social media influence, and self-worth remain at the forefront for families across the country. This has been a report by Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network.
Thank you for listening to Streaming News Network videos and shorts. Please like and subscribe to our news channel.